children aren't born with an idea about stereotypes and prejudices. It's filtrated into them through their surroundings.
Exactly. That's a big thing for me, saying, you know, I always say children are not born with discrimination. It's something that you're taught by your family or your peers or whoever you
or
spend
you
the
pick
most
it up by
time.
osmosis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I really took offence. I remember when, when was it, 1991, the census came out for saying what ethnicity group. And I remember that I took offence to the fact that there wasn't, that there were boxes for white, black Caribbean, black African, black other, Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, sorry, Chinese, and any other ethnicity group, please describe. And then later on there was a box for black British, and I'm British, I'm born British, I'm very happy of being British, and I want to just tick British. Why do I have to tick black British, or why should it actually be about colour in the first place? It really just winds me up, because then you're making it an issue. If you have a box, then that makes me think, well, am I different because there's a box that says that I'm not British, but am I black British or am I black Caribbean? It's so confusing. Just you're British or you're not British.
Yeah.
Where are you from? And just leave it at that. So it's going to be nice. I'm gonna look forward to watching this, to seeing how the children react and interact with each other.
And how they end up thinking.
And how they end up thinking.
Yeah.
But it's sad that it's come to the point where you have to force a school to take a certain minority.
Well, that's because of how people live within their communities, and schools are just drawing from their catchment area. So the school has a problem if the people surrounding the school are largely brown families. Those are going to be the people in the school. So whilst I applaud the idea of, you know, more integration and anything that gets people talking to each other sensibly rather than through these ridiculous stereotypes, I wonder how it will work in practice. It might work in towns because the busing of kids from one school to another might only take up less than an hour. But if you look at rural Britain, where there are very few black and brown faces right out in the middle of nowhere, how it wouldn't work at all with primary schools. I mean, don't even bother. But when you get to secondary schools, are you really willing to add an hour each way on a child's school day to achieve integration? So I kind of thought about it, and I think that maybe if schools pair up with another school, like all over Britain we have twin towns, don't we? So why not have schools that are twins? So instead of doing this rather brutal busting, have school twinning. So those two schools we saw in the programme there, it might be really exciting if part of their week they did things jointly. And, you know, do it that way. But I can see that the doing it every day is a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like you. I think it should be. I didn't know it was an issue, actually, to be honest with you. I just assumed that if you saw a school and predominantly it was black kids, it's because predominantly in that area it was black kids, because you have to be within a certain catchment to get into a school. So I know how difficult that is for all parents of, if they want a particular school, some parents move house to get into that. So I don't know how they're going to be able to work it out.
And also, as well, any parent who has more than one child knows how difficult it is. The school run time is absolute pandemonium when you're trying to drive or one child to one school, one child to another school, and if you then started mixing it up and going, I know that one's closer, but you need to go to that one over there, it does make it difficult. I think the idea of twinning is a good one. There's also something, I don't know if I'm calling this the right thing, I think it's the National Citizen Service. It's for teenagers, where I think it's aged 14 to 17, where kids from all around the country, all different schools, backgrounds, whatever, it's voluntary, and there's a small fee, where they're encouraged to get together during various holidays and do different sort of activities together, so that they can learn about different backgrounds, cultures, what have you.
That's a really good
So
idea.
it's already in place.
Yeah, well, busing would just cost the system money. You know, if they had to enforce it, it'd be money off the education budget, and we know that all over the country parents are having to pay for toilet rolls, pens, books and whatever, because schools haven't got enough money already.
Yeah.